Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aries. If Aries is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so tonight, Aries, we have the Four of Wands, which has everything to do with completion, right? This is a good energy. This is like, oh, I finished that project. I finished that application. I finished remodeling the house or whatever it is. Something has gotten done, right? And you're feeling pretty good about it, hopefully. Okay, so let's take a look. And now, if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Okay, so I want to look at right here real quick. It looks like we have the name Toby. It looks like T-O-B-Y. Toby. Toby. Okay. My parents had a dog named Toby. Let's keep going. So we have a face right here. Almost looks like a mustache. We also have a bird up top. No, it is a rooster. We also have another rooster over here. We have the letters V and 5 right over here. V5. So I almost feel like, okay. We have a person standing here pointing this way. At this person over here, here's the body and the head's kind of thrown back, holding up some kind of like hammer or something like that. And then we have 3 people, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, all looking up with their hands raised up towards the sky. Now we also have a person standing here and we have a little cross. We have, it looks like a little house or a hut. So let's put this all together. We have the dude at the beginning who has the mustache over here. Okay. We have related to the rooster. Now the rooster usually means an alarm. Right? There's some kind of an alarm, like a wake-up call happening, okay? Now, I feel like we almost are in this situation where there's a person who just, it almost feels like they're very controlling, they're very aggressive, they can be physical. And this person is like pointing, like, look. See, I told you. And I almost feel like, and I hate to say this, but I almost feel like maybe one of your children or maybe one of the younger people in your family, your nephew, your niece, whoever, they're adults or close to, right? They're old enough that maybe are dating, maybe they're getting serious, maybe they're moving in, but I feel like people around them have been saying, this is a person that is not safe. There's something about them that just, it's like, they're going to snap out. They seem like a controlling person, like a person that is going to, isolate maybe your child, or you know, kind of talk badly about their family or their friends, and get them kind of in a place where they're not communicating as much, you know. And we know, right? These are kind of the beginning signs of somebody who wants to control another person, get them detached from their support system, you know. And I feel like this person with the mustache, I don't think that this is who we should be weary about, but I feel like this is almost maybe somebody who has transitioned, like a father figure, a grandfather, something. But they're raising these alarms. They continue to like move, you know, heaven and earth to try to put roadblocks in the way to try to stop this. Well, maybe it's a union, or maybe I kind of feel like it's almost like they're gonna run off with them, right? Go live in the big world. Bright lights, fun, excitement, but you know, we all know everything seems so exciting when you're like 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. And you think, I'm going to get away from my family. I'm going to go see the big city. I'm going to do all the things. I'm going to stay out all night. I'm going to have, you know, whatever friends I want. And of course, you should be able to. But sometimes, especially when we're young, we're not very discerning, are we? But we sure as heck don't want to listen to mom and dad when they say, listen, that person is not good for you. That person is not your friend. That person, you know, has been getting in trouble with you, or that person has exposed you to things that nobody needs to see in life, right? And they're not going to listen. At least most kids don't. I didn't. I definitely didn't. But, you know, I think that we have to keep trying, right? You can't stop trying. It's your kid, your nephew, your niece, whoever it is, somebody you care about. But these alarm bells are going off. And we have the people all looking upwards, pointing. And I feel like this is almost kind of like a, well, and there's the bird right there. So I almost feel like it is. It's like we're looking for a message, we're looking for a sign, we're looking for something. How do we help in this situation? Right? What do we do here? And it really, to me, I feel like, and maybe it is that this child of yours, this younger person, they speak a different language. I mean, they live in a different world than most of us do or have, right? If you're older like I am, right? We grew up mostly, or at least, you know, a good part of our life without the internet, without phones in our pockets and, you know, all of that. We lived a pretty analog life. And so our brains have developed much differently than kids these days, right? And I'm not going to state my position about if that's bad or good or whatever. I will say, though, that these younger generations, supremely intelligent, so smart, creative, funny. I mean, so artistic. I can't say enough about the younger generations. I have a very hard time talking down on them, you know. But I do think that there are some parts of how kids are growing up these days that do not serve them well. And I think a lot of it is that they're naive, right? A lot of them haven't had a lot of life experience outside of their imagination, outside of their video games and the kinds of content and media that they are constantly engaging with, right? And so they speak a whole other language. I mean, quite literally, right? How many times have you had to go to one of the search engines and look up, what the heck are they talking about? What is the slang that they're using? Because it's so different, you know, and this is always true of younger generations. But I feel like here, you really are going to have to put in some time and effort to figure out how you can get on their level, right? How you can relate to them. And not in a way that feels like you're trying to masquerade so you can, you know, get the upper hand and then lay down the law, right? No. To really be able to see where they're coming from. What is going on that is, you know, causing this kind of desire, right? To live these other ways. And you know, I think the other thing is leaning on your own faith. And that's really, I think a lot of it has to do with like pointing at the sky, looking for that message from the divine, from God, from, you know, whoever it is that you are asking for guidance. And, you know, I think the answers will come. Absolutely. You know, and we also have the Scorpio. I keep looking at the Scorpio. What is up with the Scorpion? There's a Scorpio person. And we have a phone, like an old school phone. Look at that. And we have a person here, and I feel like this is almost kind of, this is your person. I feel like you have a spiritual connection, and they might be a Scorpio. They might just have like the Scorpion energy, very fiery. I feel like this is a very sensual person. This is somebody who's very affectionate, and you know, funny enough, I think that you really note this, but they touch you while you're talking. Like they'll touch your elbow, your shoulder maybe, not impolite, although I'm even kind of cringing saying this. I don't like being touched by people, besides my husband, of course, and my daughter. But even then, I am very particular about, I don't like to be touched by people I don't know or don't know that well. That's the big thing. I remember there was somebody who came over to do some work at the house, and he was a really nice person, but he touched my shoulder, and I came in the house and I was like, he touched me, and my husband's like, what? I'm like, oh, well, he touched my shoulder. And I will think about that all day long, because it just, I don't know what it is. I was not always like that, but I'd become that way. I think it's like an energetic exchange or something. I don't know. But I feel like this person is very hands-on, but not to a point where it's like you feel weird or it feels like creepy or anything like that. But I feel like you are very engaged when you're talking to them. Eye contact. A lot of eye contact, and I don't know, I feel like you feel at home with them. They feel very familiar, warm, exciting. So exciting. And so we also have like the kind of the little, and I said it was like a hut or something like this, but to me what it really feels like is this person's spiritual sanctuary. And I feel like they are somebody who is very dedicated to their spiritual work, but they've also chosen to live in such a way that really promotes their ideology or their, you know, their spiritual whims or, you know, whatever it is. So maybe they're a minimalist, or they live outside of the city. They live way out in, you know, the woods somewhere. You know, something. I don't know. Maybe they live in a communal situation. They might live at an ashram or something. I'm not sure exactly, but it really is somebody who is very devoted to this way of living, to this path, okay? And so I feel like this is kind of novel to you. It's different. And I think you are really very interested. Now, do you want to go live at a monastery somewhere, or, you know, go live in a, like a, you know, like a little trailer out in the woods next to a sacred grove or something? I don't know, maybe, but probably not, right? But I do think that you have an interest in not only how this person's living, but I think generally you do. You take an interest in how people live. So I think that this is really kind of a refreshing connection you have. I do. And I think that you always feel kind of almost a little bit elated after you've seen them. And walking away from that interaction, I think it's kind of almost like a little bit of a giddiness. So maybe you have a little crush or something going on. Now we have a person who looks like they're ready to climb a mountain here. And we have the number 19. So we also have an angel. And the squirrel down here. So with that 4 of Wands, I almost kind of feel like you have, I think this really, it has to do with like maybe debt or paying off like school loans or, you know, something like this. I feel like you've worked years. This is like years of trying to get this thing worked out. And I think you're coming towards the end of it. You maybe even just paid it off, right? And there is that completion, and there is that sense of jubilance and release and, you know, a little bit of freedom. And I feel like this is very much your guardian angel involved. Like, I feel like you are very aware that you've had a lot of spiritual and divine support along the way. And even when there were times where you had no idea, like, you know, maybe you're raising a kid by yourself, you're trying to pay the rent, you're, you know, trying not to use credit cards and default on things, and you've had to do what you've had to do to get there, right? To just get that paid as much as you can. And now, these years later, you look back and you think, I can't believe I got through all of that. But here I am. And this is a very notable place in your life. So celebrate it. Make sure you're allowing yourself to really be in there, to really, you know, take it all in. You deserve to be celebrated. Now, we're going to do our lucky numbers. We'll do 3 of them. 57, 57. Okay. Ooh. 67. 57, 67, and 67 again. What the heck? Okay. Yeah, so we have 57, 67, 67. How that happened, I have no idea. All right, let's do our inner child oracle cards. And so these will just kind of punctuate the reading, okay? And I'll flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. And it says 21, let go of the past. It is time to envision a new story. Let go of the past. It is time to envision a new story. Yes, there you go. So totally, you know, and you paid something off and it's like, all right, now you have the ability to kind of maybe put the money somewhere else that you've been spending on that. Maybe saving up for like a little trip, or, you know, whatever. Investing in something that you've been, you know, really excited about, or starting a business, or I don't know, something. But this is a wonderful ending, right? And an even more wonderful beginning. And so I'm really excited for you, Aries. I really am. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you I love you because I do. And I'm going to take a little sip here. My throat is very dry today. Oh my gosh, we have been getting sick on and off since school started. And I was feeling pretty dang good. I'm like, all right, we're cool. My husband's feeling good. I'm feeling good. The baby's all good. And then today I woke up, I was a little sniffly, and I thought, nah, it's just because it's gotten colder, right? And then my husband and I took our daughter over to school, and on the way home, he's like, my throat hurts. And my husband is Paul over at Dove and Serpent Tarot, by the way. If you want to picture who's saying this. And I said, no, please don't even say that. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Because we have a long weekend. It's like whatever, fall break or something going on. And so we're off of school. We're going to have a nice little 4-day weekend. We have company coming over. And I'll tell you what. I'm going to take a whole bunch of vitamin C when I'm done here. I'm just going to load up on it. All right. So anyways, I want to tell you again, I love you. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps the channel a lot. Also, if you want to subscribe, yeah, I guess do it. I don't know what to say. When you subscribe, it gives you the option of getting notifications, and you hit this little bell icon. It'll tell you when the next readings are coming out. Also, if you want to leave a comment, definitely do that. I read them all. So, all right. I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk in a few days. Good night. Good night. Good night.